Defense mechanisms. Part 1. First defined by psychologist Sigmund Freud in 1894, defense mechanisms are used by our unconscious mind to relieve mental stress and cope with anxiety. However, instead of dealing with a root problem, defense mechanism tries to hide or ignore the issue, which can lead to greater psychological distress as unresolved problems build up. In this video, I will teach you about 5 defense mechanisms and how to deal with them. 1. Intellectualization. Intellectualization is when you distance yourself from a problem by researching the topic or thinking theoretically. For example, a patient surprised with a cancer diagnosis might spend days researching and obsessing over the illness rather than discussing the real issue, fear or anxiety over their future. 2. Rationalization. Rationalization is trying to excuse or explain occurrences using logic. A person using this defense mechanism tries to rationalize their problems into a good thing so that they can pretend everything is alright. Let's say that your girlfriend breaks up with you suddenly. Instead of acknowledging that you are sad or confused, you might find reasons why it's actually better this way. 3. Repression and suppression. Repression or suppression is when you ignore negative emotions by thinking of other things. It may seem like you're moving on or getting over it, when actually you are just trying to avoid the mental stress of thinking about it. A person who fails a test, for example, might consume themselves in work in order to avoid thinking of their error. 4. Sublimation. If you have ever cleaned your room or gone to the gym after an upsetting event, you have used this defense mechanism. Sublimation is turning negative emotions into socially acceptable releases, such as productivity or working out. This may seem like a good response, but when sublimation becomes a pattern, it leads to the stifling of emotions. The fact that the releases are beneficial stops someone from trying to deal with the root problem. 5. Displacement. Displacement is like the opposite of sublimation. Stress or anger at one thing is targeted at another. This can be as small as punching a pillow or as huge as lashing out at family or friends. This is one of the worst defense mechanisms because the reaction is outwards, so it can hurt others. Defense mechanisms can be instinctive, but there are still ways to reduce their likelihood or overcome them. Of course, the best cure is prevention. Set up a system or environment that allows you to consider and discuss your emotions, rather than needing to resort to defensive mechanisms. You can create a feelings journal, have nightly talks with a partner, or do introspection through meditation. Speaking with a therapist is beneficial in improving overall mental health as well. Sometimes, however, these defenses happen. It is important to be able to recognize emotions so that when you feel stressed, angry, sad, or anxious, stop. Think about how you are dealing with your feelings. Remember that it is okay to be emotional when you feel bad. We use defense mechanisms to avoid mental anxiety, but understand that the best way to deal with problems is to face them head on.